All right, I am so excited for this, you guys. Okay, so Jamie, I've heard about you, and we actually were at the same winter circle, but didn't ever get a chance to talk because there's so many people. I felt like I needed like another 2 days just so I could get through and talk to everybody there. But I'm super excited to hear your story tonight and kind of pick your brain a little bit and get to know you a little bit more. So, if you want to just get started with sharing with us your story, just how you got started and how you got to where you are now.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I didn't even realize we were at the same winner circle either. I know that they said only like 30 people or whatever plus guests per group, but it ended up feeling like a lot of people. And fortunately, there were a bunch of people from like my team that got to go. And so I almost that was my aha when I go to the next thing, like branch away from your people because I didn't get to talk to half the people. I totally agree. I could have used like another 3 or 4 days. So for those of y'all that don't know me, which I don't recognize any names or faces, so that's so fun. My name is Jamie Whitehead. I have been in the business for 4 years at the end of this month. So, if you have been in the business that long, um, they did a crazy $9.99 promotion where it was $10 to sign up in 2017 for like 4 days. And I am a 9.99er. And if you've ever heard of anybody that is that, you probably haven't because there's not very many of us left because most people just took the kit and ran and didn't actually stick around the business. But prior to signing up, I had been a customer for like 7 years. And I love the products. I had amazing results. Original Triple Threat was my jam. I love the wraps and defining gel. Like I had an auto ship on for like 7 years, but I never once considered the business. And the Presidential Diamond that I was a customer under never once asked me in 7 years, having an auto shipment on for 7 years. So that right there for me, I'm like, knowing what I know now, I'm like, ask everybody, especially your lifer customers, because all it took was one promotion where it was dirt cheap. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get some wraps. Yep, I'll sign up. Like, worst case scenario, I'll switch my auto ship from a customer to a distributor and like run away. Right. Um, so that was how I kind of got started in the business and like how my relationship with it works in the beginning. Just a little bit about me. I kind of skipped over the personal stuff. I'm a mom of two. I have a 9-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl. They both play soccer. My daughter is a competitive cheerleader. My son does competition baseball or select baseball. Before this business, I was a director in IT. And so I had an hour commute each way. I worked like 60 hours a week. I love processes and I had a huge team that I was in charge of and I was like corporate mom. Never did I ever think that I was going to a be a stay-at-home mom, which I'm going to get to. I am now. So for the first like 2.5 years in this business, I was working full time, like crazy hours. Um, with two little ones. Rayleigh was one at the time. She was still breastfeeding and all of that fun stuff. So I feel like I've grown up as a mom in this business, which is so hard and so fun because I love when new people join my team or when I get to speak to all different kinds of people, especially with little bitty ones or older ones now that I'm like doing the whole sports mom thing and like all over the place. I'm like, I feel you. And you can do it and you can be successful. So um, I got started. Like I said, it was only $10. Sorry, my story's kind of all over the place. Um, I got started for $10 and my sponsor said, go sign as many people as you can. And y'all know as well as I do, like ignorance on fire when you first get started, you don't know what you don't know. So I went and signed 14 distributors in my first 4 days because I didn't know that I couldn't. So I had, and this was me signing up intentionally planning to like be a kidnapper. And she was like, no, you need to go sign people. And I was like, okay, fine. So I went and I signed a bunch of people. And then she was like, okay, so this is why you needed to do it. There's this thing called a fast start bonus. And I was like, oh, okay. So in my first 2 months, I earned over $2,000 in fast start bonuses because they rolled out double fast starts, which was a really cool thing back then. yeah, it was insane. So I earned a ton of money and I was like, oh, okay. So by like 9 weeks in, I was a lifer, you guys. Like I had no intention of working this business. I didn't really need the money. I had a six-figure income. I didn't have time with the little ones, like and the commute and all the things, and wife like had no intention of working this business. And then I just fell in love with it immediately. So I went Ruby that fall. So it was like 3 months, 4 months, whatever. I went Emerald after I went to my first conference, like 9 months in the business. I went diamond in the summer. I went diamond that July, so 13 months in. I went double the following boom season in March. Earned bonuses, emerald, diamond, double, all three of them. Then the following year, I took my husband's account to diamond, earned a bonus on his account, and this year we went triple and earned a bonus there. So I my road to VIP has not been like an overnight success. You hear about the diamond in 90 days or triple in 8 months or whatever. Like those are so inspiring to me because I'm very competitive, but I'm like, that's not my story. I just was slow and steady and consistent. And if that's you, that's okay because you can totally get there. VIP in less than 4 years is insane. That's incredible. And it doesn't make my paychecks feel any less valuable or awesome. The fact that I had to wait 3 years for it. In fact, it's like that much more satisfying because I'm like, I put in so much hard work for this. Like I earned this spot, right? Um, so that's a little bit about me. I didn't intentionally quit corporate America. I will come out and say that right before COVID hit. It was like August, and then COVID kind of hit the following spring. So completely unrelated, but my company very unexpectedly downsized and laid off its entire director board. So there were 7 of us that were very unexpectedly let go. And I was like, thank God I have been building this side business that I had no business starting, that I didn't need, that I got crap from everybody. They're like, why are you doing this business? Thank God I had done that and built myself to double because I didn't have to jump back into the first job that came around. I didn't have to freak out and like, how am I going to pay my water bill? How am I going to pay whatever my portion of the bills? Like I'm married, my husband, whatever, we split stuff, right? But like, how am I going to like not put this huge burden on him because I had something. I had been building something. And then a few months turned into a year, and a year I was like, yeah, I'm never going back to corporate America. You couldn't pay me like this. I'm at home for life and fully embrace work from home mom life. And even though I never thought it would be for me, it is like every dream come true. So that's a little bit about me. Do you want any other specifics you want me to share?
No, that was so good. So good. We have so much in common too, and I love your story so much. First of all, $10 sign up. I've only met like one or two other people that are from the $10 signups, and I remember that time. It was so crazy. People were bringing in like hundreds of people, and they were like everybody that came in that I knew, like that I signed or that were on our team, were just kidnappers, and they just didn't do anything. So the fact that you're here and you sign
Yeah,
up $10. Like that's crazy. And every time we have these kit deals and it goes down to, it's 49 or 39 or 20, I'm always like thinking of you and those other couple people that really that join for the tiny little bit and end up blowing it up and you never know who you're going to find. So I
you
love
never
that.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny when we were at Winter Circle, I went with Ashley Sinclair. She's my way, way, way upline. She's also a best friend of mine, but she was introducing me to Mark and she was like, get this. This is my brand new VIP, blah, blah, blah. She's a 999er. And he was like, you are kidding me. What? And she was like, I know there's like 4 of them left in the company. Literally, there's like very few of us because you don't, I don't know. Anyways, so it's kind of my claim to fame. I'm like, I can't wait to tell my story on the white couch or from stage and be like, yes, 999er, hey. So anyways,
Yeah, I think
let's get into it.
that Kayla Sims was also a 999er. She's on Cheyenne Knox's team.
Mhm, mhm.
So crazy.
Yeah,
Okay, a couple things I wanted to highlight though in your story. So, you guys ask your customers to become distributors. Like seriously, all the customers that have transformed into a distributor have always been so good at this because they already like the products, they already use them, they're familiar with the loyal customer program. They kind of already have their foot in the door and they have an advantage coming in, and they're more confident because they've tried it, you know. So I had one customer that joined me, and now she turned into a diamond. So you just never know what you just never know. So go ask your customers. I say this all the time, and I'm preaching to myself too, because as much as we love like lifer customers that are like always on auto ship, like I love those people, but what if they became a distributor instead and signed 14 other distributors their first 2 days, whatever? Like, imagine how that would impact your business. So you just never know. Go ask them and at least plant the seed with them. Um, Man, 2000 in fast arts in your first 2 months, I'm sure you were like, what is this? What is this crazy thing I just started? Like, that's it.
Yes.
That's so inspiring. I'm very money motivated, so I'd be like, what? Like, and you guys have that opportunity right now, not just with fast arts, but with the $100 bonuses that is available for people. Like, that should be a huge incentive, not just for yourself, but your new distributors, getting them in and showing them, look, you can make $100 right away. Like, that's all you have to do. So I love that. And then the other thing is you went diamond in the summer. I
Yes.
I wanted to highlight that because so many people think in the summer things just kind of plateau or maybe they go down and people are busy and you're not promoting. No. You can absolutely promote through the summer months, and she did. She went diamond in the summertime. She just probably didn't slow down. She probably didn't know that the summer gets slow. Like, she was ignorant on fire and didn't even think that way. So her mindset wasn't there. I loved that. And then the fact that you you got let go of your job and you didn't realize that like you would need this. And I always tell everybody, like, you just never know what's going to happen. Like COVID itself, nobody expected that, right? Nobody was expecting that to impact their lives the way it did, and I'm so grateful for the business and the fact that, because I used to work in the healthcare, and I would have been very much exposed every single day to everything if I was still there. And I'm so grateful that I'm home and I wasn't in that position and in bringing it home to my family and doing all of that. So you just never know what's going to happen. Life's crazy, and it's nice to at least have a backup plan for
Mhm.
when crap hits the fan. You know what I mean? um, but anyways, I love your story so much, but let's dig into it. I want to know how the bread and butter, the customers and the distributors. How do you sign your customers? How do you just sign your distributors? What are you doing daily to bring in those people?
Okay, so I if my team was on here, they could answer for you. I am a HAP machine. You guys, if you are not fully on board with HAPs, you have got to get there. Like, get over it if you don't like it. Get over asking people. Like, that's the red in me, just being so honest with you. You have got to get on board. Um, it has changed my business. So going back to when I went diamond in the summer, I promoted Emerald in March, and I immediately started pushing diamond. And I was like, okay, I will go diamond in May because they had extended bonuses. I missed diamond in May by like, I don't know, 1,000 or 800 or something. Like, it was so close. Charts were different back then, but it was so close. And it destroyed me, you guys. I was like, they're not going to have, they normally don't have bonuses in summer. And so I was like, I really wanted to earn the bonus. I'm very money motivated also. And then so June was kind of a weird month, and I dove headfirst. Fortunately, I had some really good mentors, and I dove headfirst into a couple of really good self-development books, which are Girl Wash Your Face and You're a Badass, and You're a Badass at Making Money. If you haven't read those, go ahead and put them down. And I can put them in the chat here in a minute, or I can text them to Leanne after. But I read those in June, and then Mark, and I'm like, Mark and God rolled out bonuses in July. And I was like, it is mine. And Rachel Jones had rolled out host to post like at the end of June. I swear she invented it at the end of June. And I went diamond on Cleanse host to post. I was too scared to try any other product. And I bet I probably had 5,486,000 gajillion cleanse host to post up that month. And all of my customers were cleanse host to post. And I was like, cleanse host to post took me diamond, and it is going to take me to every other promotion that I will ever reach. When I go double ambassador, I'm gonna be like, oh, it was whatever this new product is. Like, we'll go presidential on slimming gummies, host to post, or like I'm host to post is everything. Ask everyone, ask your customers, ask the people. I have kids. Hey, mommy's on a Zoom. You're gonna have to go out. You gonna say hi real quick? Hi, friends.
Hi.
I have a 5-year-old, so rules don't apply. All right, go. Let daddy help you. Let daddy help you.
No.
I'm live on the Zoom. Can you go in the other room, please?
Daddy's not in the house yet.
Okay, go out in the garage and ask him then. Please, ma'am.
No. He's gonna get
I'm so
mad.
sorry. Hold on just one second.
To my team that's on here, I hope you guys are taking notes on this host to post stuff because it's not just me, obviously, right? Just saying, just saying. Host to post got her to where she is. Host to post got me to where I am. So take notes on this because it's seriously so good. And don't worry, Jamie. Like I'm pretty sure every single one of us on here are moms, and we understand.
Okay, good. I'm like, Rayleigh, I said, go. I'm like, go ask you have a dad in this house. Like, go ask him. You were in the garage when I left you. Like, and I said, I'm going to get on a call. Please don't come in my office. Oh my gosh, you guys, drop a 5 in the chat if you've ever had a 5-year-old and a 5-year-old girl with a strong will at that. Oh gosh. Okay, so that's real life. Also, my whole team knows my kids because they do that all the time. Anyways, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
I was just telling them to take notes on host to post because I preach it so much, but I feel like when other people say it, it like hits you different because I needed that too. It's like when your parents tell you to do something, you're like, yeah, whatever. But then your friend says it and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that, right? So I'm
Yes.
just telling them to listen up and take notes.
Yes. So again, I'm sorry, y'all, but host to post everything. Ask everybody, do host to post giveaways. If people say no to the products or the business, ask them to host to post. Ask the people that host to posted for you last month. Ask the people that are that are viewing your stories. Ask the people that are liking the pictures of your kids. Ask everybody to host to post. Everybody. My next thing says make an ask out of yourself. Cami says that all the time, but make an ask out of yourself. You've got to be asking people to join this business, to try products, and to share for you, because that's all they're doing. They're just sharing with their friends and expanding your network. You can't organically grow your own network and not have to cold message like a ton and grow your network that fast. I've got girls on my team. I love it when people come in and they're like, I only have 200 friends. I only have 500 friends. I don't know how I'm going to be successful at this. And I'm like, let's make it a game and see how fast we can grow your friends list just by doing this one task. Okay. So host to post is king. Get on board, Google it, YouTube it, just do all the host to post. I don't have any special. We have corporate boards. Everybody's using the same host to post, right? We all have the same access to the same script. So I'm not going to share like any of that stuff. We're all using the same stuff. You just have to ask a ton. If I will say, if you have not watched the Amy Spence host to post thing, I can send that to Leanne. She can share it with you guys. It is fantastic for growing your network, or if you're in a weird, if you've kind of gotten into a weird network, how to grow your network and get out of it. I love sharing that one because it was so good. It has helped a ton of my girls that just kind of got into a weird network. You know, when you kind of tap into something and you're like, I'm not sure where I'm at, but I need to get out of there and I need to find some new friends. So that's a really good way just to grow your network. It's just so important to always be talking to new people. So host to post is where I get 99% of my customers. And I will tell you, you don't have to be a mass enroller to be successful in this business. You have to be a master duplicator. But something that I pride myself on is that I am a mass enroller. An average month for me is between 60 and 100 plus customers, right? And distributors, 100 enrollments across the board. And 9% of them come from host to post. So you just always have to be talking to a new audience. And the best way to do that is to be consistently growing your network. And the best way to do that is to be getting host to post every single day. So one of my favorite things, and I'm going to, this is one tip that I'm going to share with y'all because I love it. It was such a game changer for me, and it was something so stupid. In March, we went triple, and I journaled, and I was like, God, please just give me new ways to like reach new people and like expand my reach and all of that fun stuff. And so one day he was like, Jamie, just go by names. Like, it was like, I swear he spoke it to me. And so I went to my friends list and I would type Leanne, and I would send, hey girl, can I ask you a question? I'm not asking you to buy or sell anything, to every Leanne on my list, right? Then I do Autumn, and then I do Melissa, and then I do Sarah. And it's like amazing how many people that have fallen through the cracks that I needed to follow up with or whatever. So I could re-spark a conversation or remove them from my list if it was somebody that didn't need to be there anymore. But it was really good to do that. So that is something that I did in March, and that I started in March, and I think I had like 700 host to post up in March. It was something like crazy insane. And I would like add and delete hundreds of people weekly, just because I was just keeping my network fluid and new people coming in. And then of course it's like you run out of new names to think of, because then you're like, I've already messaged all the Sarahs and the Emilys and the Jennifers or whatever. And so it was like I would go to the A's and scroll and pick a name, say Ashley, we'll say Ashley for easy, whatever. And if I had 25 Ashleys, I would message, that's too many. We're going to do a less common name. We're going to do Ansley. I had 5 Ansleys that were my friend, right? And so I would go to all of them and I'd ask them. And then I would go to them, and whoever I was mutual friends with, I would ask all of their friends. So if me and Ansley Adams had 20 mutual friends, Ansley was getting the message, and then so were those 20 people. And then the next Ansley, if I had 3 mutual friends, those 3 people were getting a half ask from me also. So that's something that I just started last month. And I'm like, it's giving me new faces because it's not restricting me to just one name that I can think of, but it is, it's so many people. And you tap into new networks, because if you're constantly doing like giveaway host to post, you've got friends of friends of friends that you have probably only talked to like the one time that you reached out to them originally. So that is how I am enrolling all my customers and distributors. I'm just so HAP focused. If you focus on getting those done every single day, then all the other things on the KPI are going to take care of themselves. You're going to grow your network. You're going to get your messages out. You're going to have people to follow up with. You're going to have people that are watching the stories that you're putting up, all of that fun stuff. So it takes care of itself. I love it. It's a one-stop shop. And now I'm going to take a breath.
Take a breath. We have questions. Okay.
Okay, good.
Um, as far as so you're doing giveaway and product host to post, how often like are you switching between those? Do you do like giveaways until they're like blowing up so you have a lot of people, or what's your method on that?
I do giveaway product and PDT. So I do 5-3-2. I do 5 product, 3 giveaway, 2 PDT. And I do it that way because I ask anybody that is going, I like to be PDT focused or distributor focused, but I ask everybody, I offer the business to everybody. So I don't feel like I have to do as many of those. I offer the business to the person that hosts a post. I offer the business when I'm talking to customers. So I do 5-3-2, but it works different for everybody.
Is there do you like I don't want to say like judge them, but like how do you decide which post you're going to give that person, or are you just like going off of you're just like you're getting this, you're getting this?
I just go off of whatever. I don't unless I look at somebody and I'm like, I want them on my team, or like unless it's something that like just overtly strikes me, then I don't spend time on that, because most of the time people host a post for me again. And so I'm like, if they get a cleanse one this time, they're going to get a giveaway next time and they're going to whatever. Um, or unless I know somebody personally and I'm like, they have a rocking market, like, and I'm going to have them do a giveaway. But I normally don't spend too much time worrying about that. I just try and get them out.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, same here. Because I always have people post again, so you'll eventually hit all the things, right? Okay, Sarah asked, how do you keep track of all of your host to posts each month?
So I just use collections. I just have a collection on Facebook. I work my business primarily from Facebook. I dabble in Instagram. My Instagram is aesthetically pleasing and I keep a story going at all times, but I don't like actively work to recruit from there. Um, so I just use collections and I have set days of the week. Like for me, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I go back and I either bump haps or follow up with haps or whatever. And I just scroll to the beginning of the month and I do the entire month. So I'm touching them several times a week just to make sure that I haven't missed anything or whatever. And by the end of the month, it's a little bit daunting, but especially when you get a ton up, but it's worth it because people comment and Facebook is weird. I don't always get notifications. So I just try and touch them a couple of times a week.
Perfect. Um, okay, so when you're saying like you'd go, like you'd search a name and then you would ask those mutual friends,
Mhm.
are you adding them as a friend first or and waiting for them to accept you, or are you just like messaging those people right away?
No, so when I say mutual friends, like if I like you and I are friends on Facebook, if I were to go and I sent you a message, if I go right now, we only have one mutual friend. So I'm gonna message her like you're friends with Brittany Covert. I'm friends with Brittany Covert. So she's gonna get a message from me. If I did Brittany, like Brittany and I have 47 mutual friends. So those are the people. So I'm not having to add anybody. They're people that I'm already friends with. It's just making a smaller group. So it's not my 5,000 that I have on my friends list. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you messaging
Okay.
people that aren't your friend, right?
That are my friend.
And what about the mutual friends?
They are my friend. I'm messaging them too, like for a host to
Oh, okay.
post.
Gotcha. I confused
Does
myself.
that make sense? Yay, nay? Okay, here, let me show you. So this might be okay. So this is my friend. Hold on. So like this is my friend Elena, right? She's actually a diamond on my team. She's gonna go double this month. But Elena and I have 100 and she has like a gajillion friends and then her and I have 140 mutual friends. So if I click on that and then I go to mutual, it's a list of all the people that I'm already friends with that she's friends with too, right? So obviously most of those are distributors, so I'm not going to message them, but like anybody on there is free game for me to message. I'm already friends with. And so Miranda, I'm never going to think of the name Miranda, this girl, Victoria, that I went to high school with, Katie, like so many different people, right? So I just message all of those people. That's how I've been running, like figuring out who to message for
Gotcha.
host to post. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, to be a mutual friend, you already have to be your friend. I was confusing myself.
All
But
right.
thank you, Sarah. Um, okay, so good. So, I know you said like you're asking everybody you talk to also to be a distributor. Do you do like TikTok at all or anything else like
You know,
that?
I wish that I could say that I have dove into that, but I have not. I have a TikTok. It's got probably 10 or 15 videos on it and I just play on it. But for me, um, I just stick with what works for me. And I know that sounds crazy, because you should always be doing all the things, but host to post like is my jam. And I'm always talking to new people and it hasn't failed me yet. So I just kind of stick with what I'm good at.
Yeah, don't fix it if it's not broke, right? For the longest time, I
Kind of,
didn't
yeah.
actually didn't do host to post at all until I went to well, I was like a double for a year. And I went double just from Instagram and I because it just never stopped working, right? Like it just kept working. So I didn't change
Mm-hmm.
what I was doing because why would I if I was seeing the results? So yes, I think it's
Right.
important to look at like, what else is working and maybe you try some of it or maybe you incorporated a little bit of it, but if you find something that is really working for you, don't change it until it's like not working, right? So,
Right. And I am really big on like you only have so much time in a day. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like crazy ass busy. Sorry, I cuss a little bit. Um, love Jesus, cuss a little bit, my bad. I am so freaking busy, y'all. And for me, it's all about return on investment. So I'm like, I can spend 10 minutes asking for these host to posts that I know that are my jam, that work for me, or I can spend 10 minutes putting together this whatever. And so I focus my energy where I know that I'm going to get a really good return on investment. So if you are super busy, don't try and do all the things. Um, we're going to talk about it here in a second, so I'm going to leave it at that. But just do what you're good at, and don't be afraid to try new things, but make sure that you are spending time on what is going to benefit you the most.
yeah, definitely agree. Okay, so next question is how do you duplicate what you're doing to your team and how do you help them stay like excited and inspired?
So we do all the things. So I duplicate to my team by one, I think it starts when you're a newbie. Like newbie chat for us is so important. We use Core 4, which is basically in KPI is 10. Core 4 is 4. If you are posting, messaging, following up, and host to posting every single day, I want you to get really freaking good at that, and then you can layer on the stories, and then you can layer on the creative TikToks, and then you can layer on the whatever. But if you're not good at those 4 basic things, then I don't want you touching the other stuff. I don't. I What I found when I came home from corporate America and I got to like deep dive into my team, they were spending so much time creating content and like uh, I have a lot of like very artistic people, and so they like love over, and they wanted to create stories and spend time writing like these beautiful posts. And I'm like, you guys, we have Telegram and we have boards and we have shared notebooks and like all these things. Like, why are you wasting your time doing those things when you're not getting your host to post up every day? When you're only following up 3 times a week? When you told me you haven't had 5 quality conversations today, why are you in over creating a beautiful story? Like, let's focus on the core things and make sure that we're so consistent with those before we layer onto that. So that's my first step of duplication. Our newbie chat, they get those 4 things from us every single day. They're going to get a message of the day, a host a post of the day, a post of the day, like all of that stuff. It's like a 30-day thing, and then they're kicked out of it after that. Like fly bird fly, because I don't want to create like codependent people that need me to give them a post every day, right? But I also don't want them to rack their brains trying to figure out what they're going to post, and so they don't post, right? Because we've all been there too. So we do that. I do co-sponsorings. So I have like a really quality leadership team. I'm so thankful for them, that are emeralds and up. And if I enroll new distributors and I'm placing them under people, obviously, we're co-sponsoring. And so I take that really seriously. And I place with the people that are showing up and doing things and are excited about their business. And I think that that breeds excitement. Excuse me. And then how do I keep people excited and all of that fun stuff? We do contests, we do chats, we do push chats, we do spirit weeks. I don't know if y'all have ever done a spirit week where you have like different guest speakers every night and you dress up and do fun stuff. We do enroll-a-thons, and we just try and make it fun. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard Jen is a mutual friend of Leanne and I's. I don't know if you've ever heard Jen say like she's blue when you add tequila. Like, I'm a party and a person, and so if it's not fun for me, like I don't want to do it. But you know what I mean? So like I'm very, I'm a rainbow, but I'm very red, but I'm like second blue. Like, I'm here for the party. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to have community and friends and stuff. So I just try and do everything. Like we always have contests going and we're always just trying to do fun things. So I think that if people are having fun, they stay excited. And for me to stay excited, like enrollments keep me excited. And so I know that if I'm enrolling, I'm going to be excited for my team and I can lead from the front and put my best foot forward for them. So if enrollments aren't the thing that like gets you all jazzed up about the business, like figure out what is so that you can be excited for your business so that that can bleed down, right? So that, I don't know if I answered all your, that was a multifaceted question. I don't remember everything, but I think that kind of sums it up.
Yes, that was so good. And when you were saying like focus on the core four and stop like doing all that other things, well, first of all, I'm staring at Sarah and she put it in the chat too because that's so her. She's super artistic and creative and she gets stuck into that like I want to just make this like really pretty and then she forgets to post because she didn't do that. And so it's something that I talk about all the time on my team is I say that this business is like a cake and the actual like cake part of the business is your messaging, your host to post, your conversations, the follow-ups. That's like the meat of this, the cake. And then the frosting and the sprinkles is like the all the other foo-foo stuff, right? The stories, like
Yes.
that kind of stuff. And if you're not doing the cake, you can't just have sprinkles and frosting sitting there or it's not a cake. So
Yeah.
you have to focus on the cake first. That should be a majority of what you're doing. So I'm so happy you said that in every way because I'm like, I preach that to them. So it's so good for you to say that.
It
Um,
is. And it's funny because like I looked at my leadership team first because it's hard with newbies and obviously you've got kidnappers and people that come and go. So I'm looking at the people that are consistently showing up every single day. And I was like, and I would tell them to their face, I'm like, Brooke is so consistent with her host to post, but her post needs some work. Or Elena that I just showed you, her stories are always beautiful. She's always creating some kind of new checklist and over and like trying to beautify everything. I'm like, Danny's posts are always so like beautifully written, but like she never gets all her host to post up. Like it was like, okay, even my leaders, my core people that are like my road dogs that are here for life, like even they're not consistent on the basic four things: post, message, follow up, host to post. If you can't do those four things, don't even do the other stuff. Don't even do them. You have to do those four things. We had a Zoom last night with Alyssa Bowman and she was talking, it was about posting. She's an ambassador. If you don't know who Alyssa Bowman is, she's freaking incredible. um she's a good friend of mine also, but she was talking about posting and she was like, your posts don't matter if you're not messaging the people. Your posts don't matter if you're not growing your network through host to post for new eyes to be seeing those beautifully written posts. Like they have to all be done together. You've got to do all four things together. And so anyways, that was kind of a tangent, but yeah. And I think somebody asked for the list. So hopefully you got it. Okay, good. Yep.
Yeah, so good. And I say that too. It's like it doesn't matter if you're posting to the same, if you have 100 friends, if you post to the same 100 friends every day, that's all you're ever going to post to. No one else
Yes.
can ever see it. So you have to be doing the other things, growing your network and talking to people in order for the post to even matter. And that was my problem for the first 2 years of the business. I didn't promote at all. I just kind of like posted and did nothing. And I realized, oh, I should probably be growing my network and talking to people. And once I did that, all of a sudden the posts start getting comments. And
Mhm.
you guys, I see so many people come to me and they're like, how do you get like 100 comments on that? And I post it and get none. Well, I've maxed out on my friends. I'm adding new people every single day,
Yes.
having conversations every single day. So it's been consistent work. And that's why I get so many comments because I have so many more new eyes on it than you have because you're not adding people. So it all seriously does work together. Um, Autumn asked, how often do you post on your wall?
Oh Lord. I tell my new distributors and people that are finding their feet and finding their consistency in this business 3 times a day. Business, product, personal. 3 times a day, post on your Facebook, think breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I've been doing this for a really long time. And so I have got a solid my algorithm is pretty good. It treats me well. And so I post 1 to 3 times a day. It's kind of up in the air. I post at least once a day. Most days it's 2 or 3 times. So I
Yes.
don't know. I think that's, if
It's
I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, that's good. And it's so true. It's like once you get to the point where like you're at and I'm at, we don't have to post 3 times a day because we've
Right.
done the work to get to this point. Um,
Right.
and it's kind of like we had Montana Long on our call a couple weeks
Hmm.
ago, and she's really good at TikTok, and she was telling us that when you're starting TikTok, you need to post like 3 or 4 of them a day to get them
Yes.
going. And that's kind of the same thing with your Facebook. You know, you should be posting quite often to get it going. And then now she's at the point where she only posts 1 TikTok a day or not even every day because she doesn't have to because she already did the work to get herself to where she's at now.
And
So
I
that's,
will say that you like gain credibility. One, your algorithm, you will understand your algorithm more. Like my personal algorithm, I know that if I post 3 times a day, none of them normally get very much interaction, regardless how much I'm interacting with other people. But so do what's best for your algorithm. But I also have gained credibility with my audience. So if you're in your first like 1 to 2 years, unfortunately, this business has such a high turnover rate. And I don't mean it works this business. I mean network marketing as an industry. It has such a high turnover rate that like people are just judgy and they're like waiting for people to quit, right? So like you've got to be consistent and show up, turn your sign on every single day, put a post up, put multiple posts up a day to show them, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I know other people quit this kind of business, but I'm here for reals and I'm going to stay. And so when I say I don't have to do it anymore, it's because my sign's been on for almost 4 years. And if anybody on my Facebook, once it works products, they know to come to me. You know what I mean? Like, and anyway, so yeah. How often do I recommend going live? Um, I don't know. I think that's a personal preference too. Some people might disagree with me, but like I only go live probably a couple times a month, maybe once a week. I don't go live very often at all. I go live in my team page all the time, but unless I'm trying to break the algorithm or have something specific, like I don't go live very often.
yeah, I've noticed like if my interaction or some if it's going down for some reason, I
Mhm.
will pick up my lives and it definitely helps. Like Facebook like rewards you for that. But I also don't
For
go
sure.
like too much. I feel like you can overdo it if you're doing it like every day, but it's still I think really valuable, especially if you are growing your network with host to post and you have new people on your page every week.
Mhm.
Yeah, go live so they can see who you are and meet you and see your face and hear you talk. Like I think that's really important.
Yep, agreed.
You guys have really good questions. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the next one. So what advice do you have for somebody that feels like they're consistently showing up and they're like doing those daily tasks that we were talking about, but they're just not making progress towards their promotion? They're just kind of like at that plateau almost.
So 4 things. I wrote 4 notes. um, Change it up a little bit. That's when I look at what I'm doing. And if my host to post, I'm a host post queen, right? So if what I'm doing host to post consistently isn't bringing the return on investment that it normally does, then I'm going to switch up. I'm going to switch up my methodology. I'm going to switch up how I'm asking for people. I'm going to go in and I'm going to clean out my friends list. I'm going to give TikTok a try and be consistent with TikTok for a month, right? Like I'm going to change what I'm doing. I'm going to shake things up. So it shakes up my algorithm so that it makes me feel fresh and new and excited. And it doesn't make it feel so mundane, which kind of leads me to the next thing, because it's hard when you do feel like you're pushing for something consistently and it's not happening. It's hard not to get in a weird mindset, which is the second thing. Check your mindset. You may be doing the things, but if you are not doing them with an excited, uh, um, grateful attitude, like people can feel that. I am a firm believer in the law of attraction. Some people don't even know what that is. Some people are firm believers and don't believe, whatever. what you put out into this universe, you are going to get back. If you are just doing your host to post just to check them off your list, if you're just doing your follow-ups to be like, yep, did those again today and still didn't sign anybody. Like, you got to check what's happening right here. Check your intentions with your actions, because people feel it. If you are just trying to sign customers, just to sign customers to hit your promotion, that also, like, be grateful for them and care about their results and take time to think about not only how it's going to benefit you, but how it's going to benefit them. Like, you just have to check your mindset when you're in that spot. And I will tell you, this business, if you're in that spot, then you are likely pushing for a promotion over the course of several months, right? I pushed, I say I pushed for triple diamond for 2 years because it was 2 years from the date that I went double till the date that I went triple. And there were months, obviously, that I wasn't pushing as hard as what I could have or whatever, but like, that was always the goal. And this business is a marathon, not a sprint. So you do have months where you're growing or where you're being consistent. Hell, 2020 for me was my mom is the cutest thing ever. And she comments on everything and she checks on my numbers, and like, she's just the funniest thing ever, right? Like, she halfway gets the business enough to have a conversation. And so it was like every month last year, she was like, how's it going? How's road to triple? Da da da. And I'm like, it's good. And she's like, okay, well, I saw you, like, were you double this month? I'm like, I was. And she's like, okay, well, how did the numbers look? And I'm like, every month, if you would have asked me, how's your business? Like, it was good. Like, last year was so consistent. It was so, there was no like January, February, March, and then we crashed in the summer or fall, or like, there was none of that. Like, we were like even keel all year long. And it, at first it drove me crazy, but I was like, this is so good. Like, this is so consistent. And it allowed me to like fine tune my new distributor launch, the way I launch newbies. It allowed me to fine tune some scripts. It allowed me time to go and look at the rubies that were 2 layers deep that were showing up in a big way and like partner with them and not have to stress about like a promotion, because we were still making forward motion. Even if it was consistent, if your check stays the same for the next year, like, is that terrible? For me, I was like, no, I'd rather it stay the same than go down, right? And I would, I'm like, now if my check stayed the same, like, of course, I want to be a millionaire. Of course, that's the goal. But like, if I had to stay at this level for a year and have some growth and help other people grow in the meantime, you have to focus on what you're getting in that season versus like what's not happening in that season. So check your mindset. Third thing is know your numbers. If you are not moving forward, then you probably don't know your numbers, like down to the, I always think of Ashley Mayfield and their like road to debt free. They knew it down to the penny. When they were going debt free, they knew it down to the penny how much debt they have. If you are trying to go for a promotion, you should know your numbers down to the BV. You should know what every single person needs. You should have a roadmap. You should have it in front of you every single day. Make sure you know your numbers and that you're being passionate and loud about them. And then the last thing is fire breeds fire. So if you were like, I'm ready to go, I don't know why I'm not going, I'm showing up consistently every single day, what is happening? Then that's when you need to shoulder tap Leanne or one of your other leaders and say, put me somewhere where there are other people that are on fire, and you go run with those people, because you're not getting what you need from where you're at right now, whether it be like from your downline or from your accountability partner or whatever. Change that up, change up your environment, change up your support system so that you can get the fire and the excitement that you need. Because I'm going to go back to mindset. I guarantee it's what's going on here and the level of excitement and urgency you feel about that promotion. Take a look at your why, take a look at all of that stuff. And a lot of times you just got to deep dive in and be like, what's happening? Like, why is this not happening? I am doing the things. It's probably not the words that you're saying to the people why people aren't signing up. It's probably how you are feeling when you're pressing send on that message. So anyways, your vibe attracts it all. So just make sure that you've got positive energy around you.
That was so
That's
good. I've
it.
asked so many people that like same question, and I loved the way you answered it. It was probably my favorite way it's ever been answered. I love the 4 tips. All of it together, it was perfect. So if you guys, those of you that are, wanting to promote and you're just like, why is it not happening? I hope you wrote that down and you go make those little changes that you need to make. Because sometimes it is like just fine tuning things. I know,
It
I know, because
is.
I was
It's
a
the little tweaks.
yeah, I was a double for 2 years also. And I know like I did a lot of that last year as well of like, okay, what do I need to fine tune? What needs to change? What part of my mindset needs to change? What part of my team needs to change? And just like making those adjustments and figuring out. And I also did seek out people that were on fire. I seeked out people that were where I wanted to be. That's when I
Mhm.
met Jennifer and I was like, okay, hi, you just went triple, let's be best friends. And I got myself in her circle and was like, tell me everything. So those are the things you guys have to do if you want to get that far is like you kind of have to advocate for your own self and figure out what needs to change because
Mhm.
it's not just going to change on its own. And that's something really important to remember as you're moving forward. Um, that's so
Mhm.
good. So now, if you could go back to the very beginning and tell yourself anything, what would you tell yourself?
So y'all know that I was ignorance on fire from the beginning. Like I just went for it. And so um, I would tell myself, don't look left and right because you're already doing the things. Like, don't look left and right. Not that I'm a super like comparison type person. Like, I will cheer on any person, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't get in my head. And so, like, keep that ignorance, just keep going, just keep asking. Like, you couldn't, and this is going to be my last tip that I give here in just a minute, but like, just keep going and don't lose that. Don't lose that excitement and don't lose that ignorance of just like, why can't I ask 7,000 people? Why can't I ask all 5,000 of my friends? Why can't I? And go and actually do it. Like back then, I had to be super scheduled with my time and um so I was super organized and I just made it a point to be that way because I was working full time and had 2 kids and all the bells and whistles and PTA and whatever. And so it was like Sundays, I planned the entire week and I just had alarms and I just keep doing that, keep taking action every single day and don't give a crap who cares or who sees you, who doesn't. Like you just keep running forward and keep doing the things because it served me so well back then. And then what happens? You get a few no's under your belt and then you miss a promotion for the first time and then the devil creeps in and then your mom says something and then you feel mom guilt because you're away from your kids and all the things creep in and so you slow your actions and you pull your reins back. And I'm like, if I would have kept ignorance on fire just going, like I'd be ambassador by now. Like I'd be double ambassador. Like if I wouldn't have let life come in and creep in and like stutter step me, it would it would have changed. But life happens. So that would probably be the thing that I told myself, like just keep going, just keep taking nonstop action.
That's so good. And like staying in your own lane is so
Yes.
important. That is something I probably would go back and tell myself too, because in the beginning I did compare myself a ton, like a crap ton. I compared myself. And even when I started to like take off in the business, I remember, and I shared this with I think some of my leaders not too long ago, but I remember I went Emerald and then I went to an event in Dallas and I met this girl that she was a Ruby like sideline, and I met her and we were friends, but for some reason I just felt like I had to compare myself to her. And she ended up going diamond the month before I went diamond. And I can't tell you how much that got in my head, how much I was like, I went emerald first. Why didn't I go diamond first? Like I compared so much. I spent so much time on that that didn't serve me at all. And when really I should have just been cheering
Mm-hmm.
her on and been excited for her and been excited that my time is coming. Well, you guys, I'm
Mm-hmm.
now a triple diamond and she's still a diamond. She's still here, but
Yeah.
she's a diamond and I'm a triple. So why the heck was I so caught up in her journey versus my journey? It's like we all have our own roadmap here, our own journey, our own timeline. You have no idea what is in store for you and what's going to happen in your own time. So just stay in your own lane and just be happy for others and just focus on yourself.
I
Um,
love that you said that because it goes back to like you asking if I do TikTok or whatever. And it's like, I used to shy away from questions like that because I should be doing TikTok. Like I'm a triple, I should be doing all the things, right? But it's not my forte and it's not the thing that I'm really, really good at. And not comparing myself to the people that have exploded on TikTok or that have made TikTok their thing. I did a Zoom the other night for Tamika Davis's team, and one of the girls asked, "What's my niche? Like, what's your niche and how do you like whatever?" I'm like, I don't have one, y'all. I'm just a mess. Like I'm a mom and I'm a mess and I just like drink my coffee every day and I love these products and I talk to everybody about them. Like I don't have a niche. Like you don't have to be an Instagram supermodel Shay Knox to be successful in this business. Like of course I would love, like her life is fantastic and she's super sweet, but like that's her race and that's her thing. Like I'm just going to do me and like serve my family the best and serve my team the best and do what makes me feel good and that I'm good at in this business. And that's all we can do. Just show up the best version of you. So anyways, I love that you said that.
Yeah, so good. So, so good. We're all so different. And that was one of my takeaways at Winter Circle was meeting all these people and really outgoing people, really shy people, people that are older, people that are younger. I sat at dinner one night with Rhonda Hartman and I'm like, man, she's been in here for 10 years and she is very experienced and a veteran in this. And then you see all these younger people and just the differences and like hearing her wisdom. So it's just so good. Like this business, the company, everything, you can be any walk of life, you can be any age, any personality, live anywhere, any background. Just don't compare yourself. It's your journey for a reason. And if you're doing this right, you sharing your journey, you're going to attract those people that can connect to you, and that's what you want. Because the last
Mhm.
thing you want is someone to join you and they think you're a Shay Knox, and then they join and they're like, who is this girl? She is not what I thought she was because you weren't being authentic and being yourself. So
Mhm.
that's so, so important. Okay, so we're at our time. So what is your last like advice or inspiration for everybody?
So, I just wrote decide and be unwavering. Like whatever you're going for, just decide what it is. Like if you want to be a triple diamond, decide in your head that you're going to be a triple diamond and that you are going to do whatever it takes to get there and be unwavering in your actions, be unwavering in your thoughts, be unwavering and be so committed to that. And run and I don't want to say run your own race, but like just do all the things to get there. This business is so fun and life doesn't always work out the way that we plan it to. And as much as I'm a planner and as much as I'm an organizer and a scheduler and all those fun things, like life is going to throw you curveballs. And there was a quote, I wrote it down and I don't want to misquote it. Um, Hold on just a second. It's a Tony Robbins quote and it says stay committed to your decisions but flexible to your approach. For me like I said, it's Tony Robbins and that is so so important. It doesn't matter if the timeline changes, it doesn't matter if the team changes underneath you or whatever. If the girl that you thought for sure was going to be the prez to your ambassador quits on you next month, yes, it's going to sting, but you're not going anywhere. You have decided you're going ambassador. You have decided you're going Ruby. Whatever it is, just stay committed to your decisions and just be flexible on your approach and just go have fun. Something else that I always tell my team is once you do decide and you are unwavering about it, that's when the devil is going to show up the most. Okay. Like, because I'm, I'm a faithful person. I talk about God. And so I'm sorry if you don't or whatever, but like once God is on my side and once I have like spoken something to him and like prayed about it and said like this is what I'm doing, if it's your will, like let there be a way, like that's when the devil shows up in a whole nother way. And so if you are going for some big promotion, or if you are doing something, expect that things are going to happen. Expect that your diamond's dog is going to die. Expect that your other diamond's dog or dad is going to get diagnosed with cancer. Expect that a Ruby's grandfather is going to pass. Like all of the, like I could literally list off 10 other things, and those all happened the month that I went triple. Like, because I decided, and you couldn't have told me that I was not going to go triple in March. Like, you could not have told me. It didn't matter what the numbers looked like. I knew that my actions were there, and I knew that God was going to meet me halfway. And I knew that the devil was going to show up and try and distract me with every single thing. So just make your decision and be so unwavering when you step foot to go forward towards it. I don't know if that made sense. Kind of in my head, it made sense, but
So good.
yeah. So just go for it, and just you have to decide. You just have to decide and go for it.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've learned after many promotions now is every time you're in a promotion season, month, or run, there's going to be life, lots of life to you, to your team, to everybody. And that's something you have to be prepared for mentally. And that's something that you're going to grow through. And it's going to be so much sweeter once you hit that promotion. Once you get there, it feels so freaking good because of what you had to go through to get to that point. When we went triple, and we went triple in March also, and January and February life hit me and my family and my team, and lots of stuff happened, and that's how I knew we were on track. Like it's
Mhm.
sucks that
Yeah.
it's happening, but I'm grateful for the signs because I know that we're on track to something really freaking good. And then we had March, which was incredible. So um thank you so much, Jamie. You were amazing. I took so many notes, and thank you so much for just pouring into us and sharing everything with us tonight. You really have been awesome, and I want to like actually meet you and talk to you at the next event that we're at together.
Yeah, let's do it. You
Awesome.
are so welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thank you.